What's going on, guys? My name is Jared Jakowski. You can find me on Instagram under ZadLifts and under my Patreon, ZadLifts. Make sure you check those out. Today, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was gonna have an entire B-roll thing and have an entire setup, but I thought it'd be better to have a sit down, just one-to-one or one to, you guys watching, about two things that are very close to me. I've been trying to perfect my training routine for the last 6 years, trying to figure out what works for me, what helps continue build my strength as well as my size, and allows me to stay lean under a 14% body fat and be able to continue building strength and building size. Now for me, this has been very difficult, but over trial and error we were able to successfully figure this out, for me at least, and I have room to adjust and room to grow my training style and how I like to train. But right now I'm feeling really good about it, and that's why I kind of want to talk to you guys about this today. So for all of you wondering what I am, power lifter, bodybuilder, I am a, as they call it, power bodybuilder. Power builder, I'll put a description. I'll put like a description like right there, but power bodybuilding is the combining of powerlifting and bodybuilding. So you have, your main lifts, your three main lifts of squat, bench, deadlift, and then everything you do outside of that, all the hypertrophy you do, is technically, well, at least for me, targeted around accessories for powerlifting as well as size. So for over the past 6 months, how I've been training has been, I'll usually do an hour and a half of powerlifting to an hour and a half of hypertrophy. I take my time with powerlifting because I don't want to rush anything, I don't want to hurt myself, and I believe that if you go slow and you take the proper rest time of between 2 to 3 minutes, you'll be recovered enough to be able to hit an even heavier lift. And especially for bodybuilding, if you take things with a faster rest time, then you're going to be more prepared for those big lifts in that 2 to 3 minute rest time. So let's go over that again. For powerlifting, this is very important to me. I do 2 to 3 minutes of rest time per set, and then for hypertrophy, I do 30-second rests between each set. Mondays, I'm typically doing bench. The following day, I'm gonna be doing deadlift, and now that I have a weak bench, a movement using my quadriceps and my hamstring and my glutes and my hips, I will immediately go back to bench. So I'll go bench, deadlift, bench, squat, bench, deadlift, bench, squat, and that will be the week. I'll have one rest day, active rest day, where I do abs and calves. But I am doing powerlifting movements 6 days out of the week. 6 days out of the week.
You're an idiot!
Okay, and I believe that this is very important because I believe you need to give your body enough rest time in between doing heavier lifts, especially when you're more advanced and you're pushing weight that is, credibly and arguably a lot of weight, I believe that being able to have enough time to rest and recover those muscle groups is very beneficial and very important. So what I do is, on top of that, I don't just do, low bar, conventional, bench. You see every single one of my Instagram posts, I have switched it up. I'll usually be deadlifting very heavy conventional, or be deadlifting very heavy, or I'll be squatting high bar, or I'll be squatting low bar, or close grip or wide grip, because I believe it is important to switch up the different stances and styles you do every other training session. So at the beginning of the week, I usually will be doing sumo and then low bar, because I believe those are my strengths. I used to be very big on conventional, but now I believe that sumo and low bar, since they are technically working the same muscle groups just with a lower range of motion, typically pull pseudo sumo, so my stance is a little more narrow, and it helps a lot because I put a lot of emphasis on my quads during the lift, and then I allow my hamstrings and my glutes to finish the lift. So at the beginning of the week, I do the movements that I believe I am strongest in, like those, and then following the next 2 days after I've benched, so I'll be doing normal grip bench, low bar, then sumo, and then following after that I'll be doing my accessory powerlifting work, is what I call it, but it's still powerlifting work, it's just with a different stance, and I believe that it helps continue to build strength, because strength is what we're going for here. Dr. Deadlift, or Callum Wooler, explains that heavy rows are a great accessory for conventional, and conventional deadlifts are a great accessory for sumo. So if we take that logic with the other two lifts, let's say you're doing dumbbell flat, chest press, And then the next day, you know, that's an accessory for close grip bench. And then you go from close grip, which is an accessory for normal grip bench or competition bench, depending on what you call it. And then for legs, you know, you got leg press, and then you'll have high bar squat, and then you'll have low bar squat. They all work together. So that's what I like to do with my training nowadays, is I like to make sure that I'm doing the accessories, the best accessories I physically can for my body, okay? So it's a lot, it sounds like a lot, I know that. But then on top of that, after we get our powerlifting movements done, and then whether that be, you know, the powerlifting movement that is I'm strongest or the weakest at, which you're trying to get stronger for the accessories, because if you're stronger in that, you're arguably going to be stronger in those stronger lifts. Then after that, what I like to do is hypertrophy, because I like to bodybuild as well. I like to do both. I want to be able to be as well conditioned as possible to be able to do a powerlifting meet, and if I had to do a bodybuilding meet, I could at the same time, depending on how I'm feeling, how my size is, because I'm very interested in both fields. Now, after I do my powerlifting, I go in my bodybuilding movements. A lot of negatives and a lot of time under tension work. Okay, I do a lot of time under tension because I believe that builds the most, you know, has the most stretch in the muscle, and it does the most damage to the muscle. So every day I would typically pick 2 body parts. On Mondays, I do biceps and chest. I'll typically be doing 4 exercises for my chest and 4 exercises for my biceps. And now when I'm doing my movements, I'm not just picking, you know, this, that, and the other. Everything has a plan. Everything has a plan to be able to get stronger. So what we do is for me, I typically like to work every muscle in my chest, where it's lower, high, medium. And I'm always going in kind of like an order like that, whether I'm going the hardest to work, then the medium, and then the easiest to work, because I want to put the most amount of time, the most amount of, you know, of my energy into the muscles that I have least developed. So let's say for shoulders, you know, I believe that my rear delts need more work. So when Wednesday comes around and I do shoulders and triceps, you know, I'm starting on that rear delt, you know, and then I'm going to the second most developed in my case, which is my front delt, and then when I go to my medial head, you know, I'm doing as all pre-exhausted. Everything's pre-exhausted, so then when I'm hitting those, you know, the big development part, the thing that, you know, I'm known for, in my opinion, I can just put as much damage into that as possible, you know? So we're giving, you know, the lighter weight here, warming up, doing all the, you know, your back, so 1, 2, 3 on everything, you know? Even if you're doing 4 exercises, you know, you can still do, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then go back to something that needs more development. Now that does vary in sets and reps and time under tension counts and everything, but that's basically the general gist of how I train. My training consists of powerlifting accessories, and then we're going right into bodybuilding, because I love bodybuilding. It's a great thing. I think it's very good for meditation, and I also think powerlifting is a good thing for meditation. You know, I'm very big into meditating. I went to Thailand and I spent a lot of time with monks and the Bikini Order, and it was a great time. And they had this general, all of their vows were basically based off of routine. And I believe if you can fine tune a routine in the gym, which I believe I have done, and if you want to get more information on this, you can go to my Patreon. I have everything listed there. But we start with our powerlifting, then we go to our bodybuilding. Go into more detail. Powerlifting, we do a powerlifting accessory, and then we do our bodybuilding. Break it down even more. We do our powerlifting, and then everything else for the workout, including the bodybuilding, are all accessories for those major lifts. Okay, so I'm doing all of this work and fine-tuning and strengthening all these muscles, and if you fine-tune and strengthen all the individual muscles, when you put them all together for those bigger lifts, your weights are just going to shoot up. So after me explaining that to you guys, I just want to go over my goals for my next training cycle. I'm currently shooting for a 600-pound deadlift, a 550 squat, and a 335 competition bench. Today at the gym, I squatted 505 and 500. I'll put that right here. You can see, you know, my depth's going good, my coccyx is feeling great. I've finally fine-tuned it. Hip thrusters. If you're a powerlifter and you don't do hip thrusters, God save your soul. So everything's feeling good there. I'm roughly picturing my peak week to be in about 3 weeks from now. And from then I can start looking at a competition that I want to pick and I want to shoot for. I am currently 180, so everything weight-wise is perfect. I can now boost up my calories to about 190, hit that, and then drop weight for my peak week, and I'll be ready to go. All right, well, I hope you guys learned a lot from this. If you have any questions about how I train or anything specific, just add it in the comments down below. I'll make sure to reply to all of you guys. And I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July, and I hope you guys have an amazing training week next week. Again, you can catch me on Zad Lifts and Zad Lifts on Patreon. Anything you, hey! Pretty much type Zad Lifts in Google, you'll find me there. Contact me, I will reply to you. I will let you know the secret and the sauce to everything that I do and how I continuously get stronger. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful day. You all are amazing. I love you all. Take it easy.